Welcome to the Copado Architect Corner. Today we're going to be talking about data cloud deployments using Copado with today's capabilities of data cloud, and Copado can handle growing capabilities of data cloud. Hello, my name is Steve Simpson and I head up global learning and enablement at Copado. I'm also a Salesforce certified technical architect, architect instructor, and data cloud instructor. Today I'm going to be talking about Copado, CI/CD, and its RPA capabilities, robotic testing capabilities, and how that can be combined to deploy data cloud. So today I'm going to show you a quick run through of Copado seamless workflow for CI/CD. We're going to show you a sample data cloud configuration, what are some of the steps it takes to deploy that, and going to show you the Copado deploy automations and how we can continue to grow a data cloud. Here's a sample Copado pipeline, which has a couple of dev environments, dev 1, dev 2, an int going to a user acceptance, and production. And now we're going to take a look at a quick workflow. So here's a user story where we're going to have the changes to make an account Acme balance field. From here on the build tab, I see that it's connected to a credential, one of the environments, and I can do a shortcut and open the org and make the changes. Here's an account object. One of the most simplest and most common changes we have is adding a custom field. So here's a custom field, and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to add the custom user permissions, and I'm going to add the page layout. Now I can go back to the user story. From here, simple click to create commit changes, and this allows me to find those changes in the org. So I press get changes. It's going to identify the most recent changes. Here is the Acme balance. I can also deploy a change to the layout and the admin profile. And from here, press the commit button and trigger the commit. Once the commit's done, I can see the related metadata, and I can quickly take an action to deploy this. I can submit this and flag it for immediate deployment. So you can see I can hit submit, and this will put it in the queue for an immediate deployment. It'll go through the process and trigger the deployment to the next environment. Here's the deployment promotion. I can see it's interacted with Get, and it's right now talking with Salesforce, the metadata API, to deploy. Here it's successful, and we're going to go take a look back at the user story. You can see that it's been moved from the dev 1 to the int, and I can actually use the shortcut and take a look at the change. So from here, I can see that the field has made it to the destination environment. So I've shown you the streamlined CI/CD workflow with Copado for core metadata. Now we're going to take a look at sample configurations for data cloud. We're going to talk about the manual and how the manual configurations and how Copado can deploy that with its automations. Here's a data cloud sandbox, and I have an Acme data model. And what I have done is this is a manually created data model, and it has a couple of basic fields. So I have a basic fields that come with data cloud. I've included a new primary key, 2 data fields, and this is a manually created data model object. Then I have a data lake object, and it has very similar fields, slightly different names. And what I've done is set up some basic mapping between them. So I've set up the mapping from field 1 to field 2 to data 1 to data 2. So this has a data lake object, a data model object, and the mappings between them. Now there still are manual steps required to deploy. However, Copado has a combination of Copado functions, which are scripts, and Copado RPA, remote process automation using Copado Robotic Testing to drive and fully automate this from end to end. So we're going to take a look at the manual steps. I'll be talking about how Copado can enable that, and then I'll be showing that in the Copado environment. So first, Copado can, through the API, create a data kit. This will be a timestamped data kit to transport between 2 environments. Then, using RPA, remote process automation, be able to have selected the key components. So the RPA will select designated components. There's a data lake object. It'll also be able to select the data model object. Let me see, that was the data model object. We'll add the data lake object. This will all be scripted through the automations. And then from here, the next step, which is manual but driven by Copado Robotic Testing is the triggering of the publish onto a package, creating a new package, and this will also have the dynamic name. The RPA will then be able to select the appropriate data kit to add to the package, and then trigger the upload process. What this is doing is it's taking the data kit, adding it to the package, which will determine all the dependencies, and then this will create a deployable package with the name. The package can determine all the related elements, the associated fields, the mappings, and include them. Now here's a target environment that has the package. Now you can see that in the data model, it comes in as unmapped. And if I go to the data lake objects and I go to view all of them, and I search for my Acme, it's not there. And it needs to have a special Salesforce flow to enable them, because you would have to hit new, install from a data kit, and then select it. Instead, we can trigger the flow and send it the list of the payload. Through Postman, I can make a call, which can call the flow, and then I can come over here and refresh. And the data lake can become available in the environment. So this requires a combination of the automatic deployment of the package along with the calling of the flow. We're going to take a look at how Copado can automate that and show you a sample of a deployment. In Copado, I can have customized deployment steps. This one can create the source data kit using what's called a function. It can add the components to the data kit using a robotic test, prepare the data kit package. Then in the target environment, it can enable Data Cloud. It can install the package, run the different deployment flow, the data kit deployment flow through a function, and any other steps need to be supported, such as authenticating the data streams, identity resolution, or any updates to calculated insights. These can be customized using the robotic tests. Now here's a promotion where you can see it had customized steps. If we look over here, it had deploy, install the data kit, run the data kit development flow. It then authenticated, refreshed, and added the other elements. So we can go take a look at install the data kit, actually go in and see the logs, and this will show us a sample of detailed logs of the deployment. And let's take a look at some of the robotic tests. Here's our authenticate refresh. I can go to the details, and from here, I can go into the robotic testing. I can see the robotic testing execution, and I can see its detailed logs as it was successful. So Copado can provide end-to-end deployments of Data Cloud using its standard CI/CD, using its functions, and its robotic tests. Thank you for joining. May the deploys be with you, and this is the way to deploy Data Cloud. Thank you very much.